This episode is brought to you by MedBridge Education. Log into medbridgeeducation.com/TN Therapy Outsource. Use the promo code Dr. Mike or alternative to get $200 discount or over 40% off. Gain access to 1,000 plus online courses, compliance training, certification preps, program, and so much more. So again, thank you very much. Enjoy the show. Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Mike Chu again, physical therapist and certified dementia practitioner. We're coming to you here in a special recording for our alternative careers group, and I'm here with Stephen Dunn. You know, he's from actually Texas, and he has his own physical therapy clinic. Am I right?
That's
Mr.
right.
Stephen?
That's right.
And we're just here to use his brain. Pick his brain. That's the term I'm looking for. Pick his brain because he not only runs a physical therapy clinic, he also runs a Pilates studio, and that's our goal. For those therapists, whether you're a physical therapist, occupational therapist, or whatever, or PTA or OCODA, that wants to start your own Pilates practice or whatever. So is that right, Mr.
That's
Dunn?
right. That's right.
All right. So what can we learn from you today, sir?
Man, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. It's nice to meet you in person after watching you online.
I know, right?
Seeing everything that you're putting out with the group. I love it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, the thing that I love is that with what you're promoting is it gives people an option, or it gives them permission to think about things differently.
Yeah.
And when I went to PT school, I thought I was going to be a PT and a pretty standard traditional PT, because I really didn't know much differences, because that's all I'd been exposed to was pretty standard traditional PT. And within about 3 years of being a PT, I was pretty disappointed with what I was finding. And this
I think everybody is.
And this is a long time ago even. This was like back in the late 90s. I finished in 98, and by 2001 I'd opened my own business because I was just kind of fed up and frustrated. Wow. So this is a 20-year problem. It's not a new problem. And then about a year later, I was looking for work, and someone had asked me about if I had any experience in Pilates. And it was someone that I'd given my resume to several times. And he said, "Do you have any Pilates experience?" I said, "No, never heard of it." And he pretty much hung up the phone, and that was the end of our conversation.
Oh, wow.
And from that point on, I went into this scenario where I realized that question about Pilates led me in a completely different career path. I'm still a physical therapist, but it allowed me to say, wait, what is Pilates and what does that have to do with physical therapy? And then
that's my next question for our group.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've heard about the Pilates thing and everything, but what is really Pilates?
That's a great question. It's basically a form of exercise that was created about 100 years ago.
Okay.
And it's a guy by the name of Joseph Pilates.
Uh-huh.
And Joseph Pilates created this method and system back in the early 1900s. Okay. And it's a way of exercising, and we all exercise, but it brings in things like concentration. It brings in breathing. It brings in flow. It brings in. He's an artist. He's not he wasn't really a personal trainer. He was more of an artist. So he brought this kind of different way of exercise than just pushing and pulling. And it's really more of a mindset thing, and it's a mental thing of paying attention. So whatever exercise you're doing in Pilates, you're using your transverse, you're using your pelvic floor, you're using your diaphragm. It's more of a muscle retraining program. So for me, I didn't know anything about it, but everything I read about it was talking about posture improvement and back pain improvements. And I had terrible posture. And when I got into Pilates, my posture improved so much in that time that was a part of why I bought into it.
I think I need to do Pilates too. What do you think, guys? My posture is just,
and that's kind of what led me to it was the question. The guy hung up on me. I'm like, what the heck is it? I had to know more. Once I learned more, I realized it helped me. I was sitting like this, telling my patients to stand up straight. It wasn't happening. It really made me a better practitioner. It made me a better PT. Because I'd been studying with my hands, and I'd become a pretty skilled manual therapist, but I didn't have a very good exercise program to go with it. So I was helping people with manual therapy, but not the follow through. They were always needing more manual therapy. And once I started incorporating Pilates into the practice, from what I'd seen in my own body and how I could say, we're going to do this after manual therapy, it really changed the outcomes. It changed patients' ability, their willingness to do their programs. When I asked someone to do 10 straight leg raises and 10 quad sets and some plams and bridges, they're really, the chances of them doing that long term, we know aren't good.
That's true.
When I teach someone a mindset of how to live and breathe and think before they move, exhale and tighten their core when they lift, exhale and tighten their core when they're in the gym. So like you can take Pilates and apply it to the gym. You don't have, Pilates is a lifestyle that once it's ingrained in your body, you can do it. You can control your abs, you can control your shoulder blades, you can control your breath, whether you're doing CrossFit, whether you're doing yoga, whether you're walking for exercise or whatever you're doing. So we look at it as, that's what makes it alternative for me, is that it's a different way of thinking. For the patient. It gets them in a long-term program of doing something that's going to be healthy for them, and it strengthens their whole body, not just the knee if they're a knee problem, not just the shoulder if they're a shoulder problem, but it all starts from the core. And someone says, well, why are we working on my core if I have my ankle injury? Well, if we have stability in your core, your ankle is going to respond a lot better to what you're doing with your ankle. There's going to be a lot less strain in your calf if you're not leaning forward, pitched forward, because your hip flexors are so tight, pulling you in a bad position. And so Pilates teaches my patients who have a severe sway back and severe scoliosis, like where they are in space. It teaches them how to be aware. And that's what I didn't find in the traditional PT that I had learned from my training. So Pilates is, again, it's an exercise form that more people know about than PT. People in the general public, they know more about Pilates now than they do know about physical therapy. So it's a great marketing thing because it's a booming business.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You mentioned about booming business, and not just because you want to be in the business, just because you want to provide an additional value. So if you are watching right now, if you're providing Pilates, comment Pilates down below, because we want to know people who are providing this excellent service, because this is basically you're stepping up one level. You want to be, you want to find your niche and at the same time be excellent in that specific niche, and that's what Stephen is doing. And he found his niche, and he leveled up, and then being the best on that certain niche. So, like what I said, if you are providing Pilates in this group, comment Pilates, and if you are interested, comment Pilates too, because Stephen here will also teach us eventually, teach us how to add Pilates services to your current skills, whether you're working in an outpatient or, you can probably use this in a nursing home too, I assume, because breathing exercises is one of the things that we need to incorporate with our geriatric patients. So
say they're on bed rest. They can still breathe. And learning to breathe properly.
There you go.
And bed rest is one of the most powerful things you can teach someone in bed rest.
True. How about with dementia? That's my specialty, dementia.
I love it.
Can I incorporate that too with dementia patients?
I have a patient right now that I've been working with that is, he's my first dementia patient I've seen in a couple years. And what we found, and this is just one, it's a sample of one, is with working with him,
evidence-based, okay? Sample of one. Randomized controlled trial.
But with him, he would tell me the same stories every day, tell me the same, few little punchlines of things, little jokes every day. But once we started doing, and if I'm working on him and stretching him, he would always go into talking to try to distract me, to try to get out of working. But once I got him breathing, all of a sudden, he couldn't think so much to talk, and it made him he had less distractions. He was distracting me less. And so with him, over the course of probably about 2 months, I worked with him, and he just recently moved out of town for the summer, so I won't see him until he gets back to town later. But he really improved with his physical ability to sit to stand without his hands, because we got him on a reformer and put him in a place where he could do it in a gravity lessened position without thinking too much other than his breath. So then
what is reformer?
A reformer is
reformer? I don't know what reformer is.
Great question. It's a machine. It's a Pilates machine. So you can do Pilates mat work, which is on the floor on a mat, or you can do Pilates machine work. And on the machine, there's a reformer. It's something called a trap table. There's a chair. There's barrels. Different smaller props. But a reformer is like a total gym.
Okay.
Imagine a total gym, which a total gym is a knockoff of a reformer, basically.
Really?
The reformer had a patent in 1927.
Oh, wow.
So it's been around a long time. And what it is instead of a total gem that goes up and down, a reformer stays in one position, level, and it uses springs for resistance.
Okay.
So instead of this, it's just level. And on a reformer, I can put someone on it and have them doing leg work and a gravity lesson position. Doing leg presses while they're focused on breathing. So their core connecting while pushing out. Their core connecting while using their arms. So once he starts thinking, there's so much going on, and I put him in positions that if he starts trying to talk and distract me, he won't be able to do what I'm asking him to do.
There you go.
So he does it. So that was a scenario where his wife saw over that time, those couple months he was coming in, that he always really needed his hands to get up.
Yeah.
And we worked a lot on, trying to get up with his hands out here, and he wouldn't do it. But as soon as I put him on the reformer, as soon as I put him in positions where it was kind of fun to him, because I think to me, Pilates is kind of like being a child again. It's kind of like playing. It's more like play instead of exercise.
I love that.
Because I don't.
Nobody wants to exercise.
I don't like
really
to exercise, but I like to play. And to me, it was like a sport. It's like you play and you're trying to get better at it. And getting better at it means you're getting better with your posture. You're getting better with your awareness.
Is there any also objective finding or assessment that you also do as a Pilates instructor or trainer?
My initial consult is a postural exam, a movement assessment, and a muscle test.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at all of those things with their history, and then coming up with a plan according with what I find.
Oh, wow.
And then my plan will incorporate Pilates with every one of my patients. So people are coming to me because of Pilates. If they're coming to me because someone told them to see me and they don't know what Pilates is, they're going to get exposed to it. They may not know they're going to get exposed to it, but it's a part of it. So I'm going to take every one of my patients, I'm going to do manual therapy with them. I might need 4 or 5 visits, I might need 10 visits, it varies. But I'm going to introduce myself the basics of Pilates, the basic breathing, the stuff they can reproduce at home. Then I'm going to ask them through that plan at the beginning of the discussion is to say, this is where we're going to move you from seeing me to working with one of my trainers. So they can go from seeing me to one of my trainers, and all of a sudden it's about 60% less to work with my trainer. And the trainer is just following up with the plan.
You got a trainer also in your clinic.
I've got my wife is a Pilates instructor and has trained 4 or 5 trainers that work with us. So people will go through our training, we train them, they become certified, and then they work for us. And they're basically like a tech or an aide, but they're highly skilled at one thing that we do. They're not doing ultrasound, they're not doing hot packs or anything like that. But they're totally doing this exercise routine. And I'm not telling them exactly what to do. I'm telling them this person has this, this, and this. This is what I've taught them. You need to get them to running. You need to get them to golf. You need to get to whatever their goals are. And the plan is designed.
Is this all cash-based?
It's all cash-based.
You heard that, cash-based.
It's all cash-based. And I'm seeing about 40 people a week.
Oh, wow.
In a cash setting. And I'm seeing about...
You mind me asking how much you charge?
I charge $227 for an hour.
$227 an hour. Well,
and I charge $167 for a half hour.
$167 for half an hour. So if you are watching right now, ACG Group, this is definitely an alternative career, and not because you want to stick to being in the physical therapy realm. Being a physical therapist is actually good, but if you're going to level up, provide the services like Pilates, you're going to just raise up your level in the next level. So that's my challenge. And I also want to add this to, since we're doing this recording anyway for Alternative Careers Group, but I also want to share this to my dementia support group because he mentioned about dementia. I mentioned about dementia. And breathing is very important. He mentioned about breathing because we as a therapist, we're so stressed out, especially the ACG group. We're stressed out like this and we're not actually breathing in. And you being the Pilates instructor, if you teach not only your friends, but your clients and patients to learn how to breathe again, you're going to put in more oxygen. Just imagine that dementia patient he was mentioning. He just thought, not just the breathing, but, the breathing exercises, and it actually improved the cognition level of that patient. So that's my challenge. So
a lot of oxygen exchange that he wasn't getting before,
There you go. So first of all, if you if I'm a patient, where can I reach you?
If you're a patient, I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
And you can reach me at therapyandpilates.com.
Therapyandpilates.com. I'm repeating it right.
And the AND is spelled out. It's
Okay.
It's not the and sign. So
Therapy
AND Pilates.
We'll put that link. We'll put that link here.
And then I also have a Facebook group that's geared to physical therapists who want to learn more about Pilates and how to incorporate Pilates into their business.
Is it just physical therapist or any other practitioner can attend?
That's a great question. It's really any practitioner. It's just been geared more towards physical therapists because that's the people that have reached out to me with interest. Like a good buddy of mine, Andy, is a PT and an OT. I've been. Is it
Andy Chang?
Yeah. So
Andy, shout out to Andy.
I've been helping Andy figure out the training program he's going to do, how to get certified, what to do along the way. So that my group is. So he's an OT, but he's a PT too. So it's definitely not for just PTs, but it's for people basically in the healthcare industry who are looking for another way to create a revenue source.
There you go.
And for me, again, if I discharged people in the old school model that I did, they were gone. And I was waiting for them to have an injury to come back. Well, now when I discharge someone, I'm not discharging them. I'm moving them to my trainers.
So basically from illness to wellness.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, remember that. Illness to wellness.
And I never discharge them. Because by not discharging them, what happens is they will work with my trainers privately at about $87 a session.
Oh wow, $87 for the personal trainer or
personal trainer
Pilates instructor. So.
Then they'll join a group class that they pay $37 a session for.
Oh wow!
And there's 4 people in the class. Everybody's on their own reformer.
Oh wow!
So we kind of funnel people through that process, monthly memberships for those. For those
and then when they get injured, I assume they go back.
They go right back to me.
So it's just a cycle there.
Exactly.
So, wow.
And so if someone does show up to my clinic with seeing me first, let me back up. They typically show up to see me with back pain or whatever pain or injury, and then I move them to Pilates. But some people still find us for Pilates because they just find they know more about Pilates and physical therapy. So then they show up for a Pilates class because they've got back pain, and my trainer works with them, and they're like, you know what, you should probably work with Steven. We got a physical therapist here that can see you a couple sessions and knock out all these problems you're having, and then what you're doing in this class will be more effective and more efficient.
Wow.
And they're like, oh. So then I do a discovery session. I give them a free consult. I do that assessment I talked about, and then I lay out that plan. And then it's up to them on whether or not they want to join up and do it or not.
That's good. Well, let me follow up with this question. So for us, we're looking for an alternative career. Can we do this on the side? I mean, should we start our own clinic, or can we just rent the gym and start that?
You can do it many ways, but let me finish one thought. I forgot to say that Facebook group is called Physical Therapists in Pilates.
Physical Therapists in Pilates. We're going to put that link there.
But it's Facebook.com/Pilates for PTs.
Oh, Pilates for PTs.
Let's use that. That's the name you'll actually find it. Pilates for PTs.
Pilates for PTs.
I forgot to mention that a second ago. I kind of got on a tangent. Now, what was your question again?
Well, before we go to the next question, don't forget Pilates for PTs, or shoot me a message, or shoot Stephen Dunn a message, or me, or in the group, post it, and we'll put the link there. That's a free group, right?
That's a free group.
Oh, it's a free group.
Completely free.
Completely free.
It's actually a Facebook page, so you go like the page.
Okay, so you like the page. Yeah. And then he's gonna be posting.
I post weekly live videos.
Weekly live videos
about Pilates, about business, a little bit about everything.
Good. So it's all about Facebook page. Like it and subscribe, and then follow him, and that way you can see whatever he's doing. I watch him all the time. He's taking videos on his backyard. So. Am I right?
That's right.
He's that guy.
I sit on my back porch.
I listen to it. I learned a lot from it, and because of that's why I reached out to him today. So
I remember your question. You asked about do you need to open a clinic, or how do you go about doing it on the side. If you get Pilates trained, a certification, you can go work at like a Pilates studio. You can go work at a local gym that offers Pilates mat classes, or maybe there's a gym that doesn't offer Pilates. You go to them and say, hey, I'll come in and teach a class once a week. I'll come in, I'll buy a reformer, put it in the corner of your gym, and let me teach on it. And we'll work out a profit sharing situation. So there's, just like someone would go into a CrossFit gym and work out a way, a PT to work out a way to work there, a PT and Pilates can do the same thing. So they can work in all those different settings to start they can have a full-time regular job, start working on the side, and these places to start building up a side hustle.
Cool. Well, thank you very much,
man.
Stephen. Appreciate you. And one last thing before we let him go. I know he's busy, and you're gonna speak today.
No, I'm not speaking today.
Okay.
I'm just soaking it all in today.
Good. Well, anyway, one last question. What website can we get you again on your business page?
The business page is therapyandpilates.com.
Therapyandpilates.com if you want, to have therapy and Pilates services. And the Pilates for PTs.
Yes, the Pilates for
page.
PTs is the Facebook page.
There you go.
That's
Again,
it.
thank you very much, Stephen.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
you, and have a great day.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
And
Y'all
thank you
take
very
care.
much for watching. Appreciate you. Again, like his page, subscribe on his page, and follow it because you learn a lot from him, okay? Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to our show for today. Again, if you need education, you need CEU courses, log into medbridgeeducation.com/TN Therapy Outsource. Use the promo code Dr. Mike or alternative. Again, thank you very much for watching our show. God bless you, and always remember, movement matters to your brain matter. God bless you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.